In today's show, Lachy Murphy always punching above his weight, and the game day rush when there's never a minute to lose. Hi, I'm Mark Bickley and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Hungry Jack's Uno. Peel, match and win in store now. And of course, we're celebrating Mother's Day, so later in the show, some special tributes to players' mums. Back in 2017, the Crows recruiting manager Hamish Ogilvie gave Lachy Murphy a 5% chance, that's all, of being drafted as a rookie. 6 weeks later, he proved the doubters wrong and earned his selection. Ever since, Murph's work ethic and team-first principles have won the respect of teammates, coaches and fans.
As a team, I think we've been solid. I think we'll be 4-4. So last couple of weeks been disappointing to not get the 4 points against Collingwood and Geelong. But I think from previous years, we're definitely seeing that our game stacks up with the best. The game plan that Nixie's put in, and we're starting to see that if we can do that consistently across the 4 quarters, that we can win and against quality opposition. So I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. Obviously, I didn't get picked for round 1. To be able to come in round 2 and play my role and put some faith in the coaches, and they've done the same for me. So to be able to play my role and contribute to some winning, it's been really nice. I have a variety of different roles. Obviously, I'm a small forward, but there's some weeks I'm a bit more involved in the stoppages, but that can change week to week. The pressure side of that stuff, that's my main role.
Woodsarts to Murphy, terrific endeavour. Goes now to Akers, terrific smother in the end, brilliant stuff. Really have it, played for it, didn't get it. Taken to the deck is gone.
That's probably what I found in my first couple of years. As I play more games, I need to add to that. Yeah, I just got to keep doing that week in, week out. I do a fair bit of reflecting. Even lots of people tend to say that they reflect at the end, and I think I'm the type of guy that reflects. It keeps me, grounded. Some weeks when I'm not going all that well or we're losing, I just, like think that life's still good and I'm in a privileged position. 100 games would mean a lot to me. I've mentioned it before, but just every morning seeing, Clark, Jenkins, Tippett on that locker 4, I just really imagine my name being on that locker, and it's something that means a great deal to me. And I've still got a long way to go, and I've only played 80 odd, and there's still a lot of work to be done for me to reach that milestone. But it's definitely a driving force for me, and if and when I get there, and then I'll just move to the next milestone.
Lachy is in his 6th year with the club and enjoying a career best season. Now, away games are often a logistical challenge, with little time for players to celebrate a win or commiserate a loss. Last week in Geelong, for example, the team had barely 30 minutes from final siren to boarding the bus. It's the job of long-time head trainer Vinnie De Bono to make sure nothing is forgotten.
With a pack down after a game, the first thing is finding how much time we have after a game. Usually we have about 50 minutes, which is okay because players will see doctors, have a team meeting. But on the weekend, Geelong, we had a time frame of 30 minutes. So they basically came off the ground, there was no formal meeting, quick shower, change, and on the bus where I was left to pack the gear with my staff. We unfortunately didn't get on the plane, so we stayed back that night and just tidied up the locker room. Basically make that time limit that the airlines give you to get there, check in and make sure you're on that plane. There's one occasion which still sticks in my head. We were playing in Perth and we literally had 15 minutes after the game to catch a plane. It was one of the weirdest things that I've ever experienced because the club song was sung 100 miles an hour. Joshy Jenkins was still doing a press conference on the ground when he just sprinted off the ground into the rooms, showered, left everything on the ground, jumped on the bus and away they went. And myself and my staff, we cleaned up the whole locker room, towers everywhere, ice bags everywhere, just a mess. They made the flight with a fine toothpick to get there, but Phil Harper was driving up and down the highway to the airport to drop bags off, so all they had was their backpacks. For me, for Guernseys left behind means I haven't done my job properly.
I remember a couple of times when I played, we were running so late that passengers on our return flight had already boarded and had to wait for us. Hopefully, they were Crows fans. Stay with us. After the break, the New Look Saints, a much different team to when we last played them. Welcome back. Each week on the Crows Show, Flight Centre flies us around the country to check out our next opponent. And today, it's a St Kilda side that's been transformed by Ross Lyon into a tough, disciplined defensive unit.
Sweet one along. Marnie. Caught by Wangani Malira. No try. Ball up.
Great tackle, and hasn't he started well? 5 touches. A slowly emerging star of the competition.
Pretty positive start to the season. Obviously, in a good spot with the results, but a big part of it is the coaching group, players again to work and coming up every week with the effort and intent. Having Wilkes, Doug, Sinks, the leadership they've shown, and they've helped me down back, and then also Stock and Pato and Jimmy Webster as well also helped me out back there.
Dangerous kick. Wangani Malira.
It's pretty cool every time I come back to Adelaide. This will be the third time, and get to see the family, and all the family and friends come to the game, and a good performance this week, and get the win just to make it even better.
A big test today for the Crows' ball movement against a miserly St Kilda defence. Okay, just like the fans, every player has their favourite Crows memory. And there's no better time to hear about it than over a coffee catch-up with Ben Keys, all thanks to Jack's Cafe at Hungry Jack's.
Massive thanks to Hungry Jack's for all your support. Really appreciate what you guys do for us. Guys, massive segment this week. We've got the Crows' very own Jackson Haley. Jacko, how you going, mate?
Thanks for having me, mate.
Jacko, tell us a bit about your footy journey, because you're a South Australian originally, but you didn't come to the Crows initially. You went up to Sydney and the Giants. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to spend a couple of years up there, and I love my time in Sydney. There was some absolute rippers up there. I learnt from guys like Vinnie De Bono, who you're well aware of, and Josh Kelly, Cullen Ward, these sorts of guys. I learned a lot from them and enjoyed my time, but I was very thankful to have the opportunity to come back home, and I've loved every moment since coming back.
Yeah, was it a pretty easy decision when the Crows came knocking, being a South Australian?
Yeah, it was, and I knew Nixie. He spent a year at the Giants, so there were lots of factors that came into it, but I couldn't be happier to be back.
Jacko, you're a great footy player, but you're also well-rounded as well. You rate your basketball game. Tell us a bit about your basketball background. Tell the fans a bit about that.
Yeah, if you've seen on the shed floor, I put in a fair bit of work, and at the moment there's a lot of people that are trying to come for the title. Jordan Dawson's one that springs to mind. James Borlace is another one. So when you talk up your game, you always get people coming from underneath trying to get you. But absolutely. I think I'm holding them down at the moment.
Jacko, you've been at the club for a few years now. What's been your favourite Crows moment so far?
I think there was a win we had last year, a bit of an infamous trip actually to Ballarat.
No one said this one yet.
Ballarat, we played the Bulldogs, and it seemed like everything that could possibly go wrong was going wrong. The bus went the wrong way, and it was freezing cold, and we went to the wrong hotel, and everything was going crazy, but we played the Dogs and we won. I think Tex might have kicked a goal late to win.
Yeah. The clock keeps ticking. Their all-time greatest goal kicker, Taylor Walker, with a walk-off.
And we
by
won
6 points,
by
maybe?
6 points, yeah, less
Something
than a
like
kick
that,
or something. So that was my favourite win and favourite trip so far at the club.
Yeah, that was a great trip. I think the Bulldogs were going quite well. Obviously, I think they played the grand final the year before. Ballarat was, we weren't fancied at all, and we were able to pop up with a win. That was a really good trip. Jacko, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Really enjoyed this chat. Would love to do it again sometime.
Thank you.
My all-time favourite Crows moment is our unforgettable 2-point win over the Bulldogs in the 97 preliminary final. Now, a driving force in the performance of any player is pressure from their peers. Shortly, we'll look at where that comes from every week. Playing on suburban grounds, the Crows Sandfield team doesn't attract the same attention or level of scrutiny as their AFL counterparts. But the amount of preparation and attention to detail is equally as impressive and adds pressure on the senior players to perform. Thanks to Bendigo Bank, let's see how coach Mick Godden and his team prepare for match day.
We take the sample program really seriously, and there is an enormous amount of work that happens behind the scenes that no one ever sees, but you don't get the results without the work. Behind the scenes we have our development team, which is the guys that come here that support our development players, so the guys that come out of our local program. So we have 15 players, and then we have a number of support staff, I would say up to 15 support staff that do that part-time, that help them be the best they can be, along with all the coaches as well. So we have line coaches, development coaches that work with them. So we have a good ratio coach to player. So hence you're seeing some improvement in that area. They have access to nutrition, weights, etc. They don't have to do it because clearly they're not a fully contracted paid player. They do get some money for playing, but we can't pay them much. They have access to full resource, but they don't have to do it, but they generally do it pretty well. So they'll do 1 or 2 weight sessions a week, train twice a week, along with the reviews and things that we have to do. It's basically just a watered down effect of the AFL program. Monday night they do recovery, then they'll do the team stuff on a Tuesday, then they build into a Thursday, which is a touch session with Jack Madgen, so they come here and do more touch and more recovery and maybe some more one-on-one stuff. Then on to a Friday where they don't always get to a captain's run, but if they can, that's great. But we have team meetings. We have a thing called Huddle where all the vision goes out to them. So if they can't be here and watch it themselves, they can access it online. And that's where they get their learning, and then into a Saturday. So it's quite comprehensive.
And the Sandfield boys have enjoyed a very good start to their season. Now, for every footy fan, there's nothing like the game day experience at Adelaide Oval. So make sure you have your seats for all the action this year with an Adelaide Crows membership. Flexible and affordable memberships start from $35 a game. Join the Crows family today at crowsmembership.com.au. Well, we're often surprised to learn what players get up to away from football. But when Jones Radiology gave us the opportunity to get a clearer picture of Harry Schomburg's other life, we had a fair idea of what it would be.
Gets a little untidy, but Graham finds himself the subject of a Schomburg prolonged tackle.
Hey guys, Harry Schomburg here. Here are some of the things that I like to get up to when I'm not playing footy. First one here, I've got a photo of my new ski boat we just got. So we've got a shack in Blanchetown. We love going up there, especially during the summer. Obviously just got the new ski boat as well, so been using that. Love water skiing, been doing it since I was real young, so it's a good get away from footy. The second photo I got here is my farm. So I grew up on a farm which is in Marrable, which is sort of in between the Clare Valley and the Barossa Valley. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from here, so it's not too far away, so I like to get back there as much as I can. Obviously can't as much when I'm playing footy, but during the weekends do like to get back and help Dad out on the farm. My last one here is just a picture of the golf course. I love to play golf. Can't say I'm too good at it, but yeah, love to get away and play golf with some of the fellas. Yeah, it's a great getaway from footy, and yeah, it's something that I like playing. So thanks, guys. Those are my 3 things that I like to do to get away from footy.
A country boy through and through. And no doubt, Harry will take time today to remember his mum. Shortly, we'll hear some Mother's Day tributes. A young player's pursuit of their football dream means an equally strong commitment from their families, and much of the burden falls on mums. So as we celebrate Mother's Day, we asked some players to remember their mums.
My mum has helped me throughout my footy career in many ways. I don't really know where to start with it.
Starting in junior footy, you know, always taking me to games, always being positive, always wishing me good luck.
Outside of the obvious driving me to training, feeding me, etc. Shez, the great Shez Duday, she's just been huge in terms of being my biggest supporter.
Coming from the country, my mother did a lot of travelling to Melbourne, a lot of footy training, so I appreciate that very much, Mum. It's about 2.5 trip just to Melbourne from Shepparton, so we did a lot of trips, spent a lot of good times with Mum, great memories.
I love my mum because she's always supported me throughout my journey. She's always, after the games, giving my 5th quarter, which is telling me if I played a bad game or a good game.
From my junior footy, taking me to footy, my washing, straight after school, she would be driving around everywhere. Even my first couple of years at the club, she looked after me big time.
Still to this day, she still makes passes before games and things like that, so massive thanks to my mum for helping me out.
My old man was pretty hard on me growing up, and if I had a stinker of a game or didn't quite play the way I wanted, it was always Mum who was supporting me and saying, you're a good teammate, you're a good leader, all those sort of things. So I appreciate that, Mum, and it made me a better player and a better person.
Always positive to me, always texts me before the games. I'm always best on ground according to her. Amazing support, and yeah, couldn't have done it without her.
She's always supporting, always come to my games, and she's a great role model and love her a lot.
My mum's so kind and caring and very selfless, so that's something I love about her. So have a great day, Mum.
I certainly owe so much to my mum, who was always my biggest supporter. Now it's time to find our crow in the crowd. Whenever you take a photo of yourself or a friend at one of our games and post it to social media, make sure you use the hashtag WeFlyAsOne. Looking, let's settle on you. Please email faceinthecrowd@afc.com.au with photo ID to claim your prize of 2 tickets to Toyota's exclusive Hilux Hill at Adelaide Oval. Of course, Toyota is a big supporter of grassroots footy, and this year they're asking you to supply a highlight from your local competition. Last week we saw Big Sauce Jacobs in action for Flagstaff Hill. Let's take a look at today's winner. Remember, if you record a special moment from your local competition, simply email your entry to crowsshow@afc.com.au to be in the running to win a Crows merchandise pack. That about wraps up our Mother's Day edition of The Crows Show. Remember to keep an eye on the club's website for all the latest news, and check out our social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for your company, and I look forward to joining you again next Saturday at 1 o'clock on 7 before the Bulldogs game in Ballarat. Bye for now. This show was brought to you by Hungry Jack's Uno. Peel, match and win in store now.